continue to reclaim.
Welcome to Special Stage Extra and Happy New Year as well. We're going to help you start your 2015 the perfect way with top rally action from the UK, starting with the Christmas stages from Croft.
While we open our 2015 season with the Christmas stages at Croft, it is of course one of the final events of the 2014 season. As well as being a bit of fun, there were also some regional championships to be decided here at Croft. The first stages would be very tricky for the crews, with some resorting to a slow crawl around the icy circuit. But for Mark and Andrew Constantine, it will be a good start to take the Class 1 lead. Andrew Fawcett and Chris Purvis had a good run here last year, and this weekend was going well too. Second in the class for now, 14 seconds behind the Constantines. And for David Coatsworth and Daniel Emerson, it will be third, 11 seconds behind Fawcett and rounding out the top of the class. In Class 2, it will be an early lead for Steve Irwin and Colin Smith in the Nova, taking a 9-second lead in the class as well as lying in 6th overall. Liam Walling and Phil Kenny would be the pair chasing down the class leaders, themselves just inside the top 10 overall in 10th place. It would, however, be a place shared, as Martin Peters and Jason Leaf end stage 2 on identical times and take third in the class at this stage. The gap at the top of Class 3 would be a little bigger. 29 seconds the advantage for Paul and Chris Alsop after stage 2. The pair inside the top 10 overall in 8-2. It will be closer in the other podium places though, as Dane Walker and Mark Gaunt lie in second at this stage in the Escort.
The lower powered cars are actually probably going to do.
And they will be chased down by John Olds and Stuart Simpson in the Golf, just 4 seconds behind, third in the class.
Mark Gaunt, Rippon and Bolton close in there to the.
Mike Harrington and Rachel Heel make a great start in Class 4, leading the way by almost a minute at this early stage and lying in 4th on the overall results. Paul Swift and Jessica Bell make a welcome return to the stages in that fantastic looking, freshly rebuilt Escort. Second in the class at this stage, but with some way to go to make up that time. And for Ian and Stephen Woodhouse, it will be third in the class, giving Swift a run for his money with just 1 second separating the two Escort crews. Class 5 would reflect the top of the overall results once again, with David and Matthew White making the ideal start to lead the event by 13 seconds at the end of 2 stages. Their lead was over Guy Smith and Graham Wild in the 6R4, something a bit different for Guy to get to grips with this weekend. But there clearly didn't seem to be any problems settling in, although grip was the operative word. And rounding out the top of the results in third overall and third in the class as well were Kev Proctor and Dave Bellaby, the local Subaru pair, another 13 seconds back on the results. 2 stages down then, and the results look like this. Onto the middle loop of stages, and we'd lose Alex and Katie Willan from the event with a disappearing brake pedal fault, the pair choosing to call it a day before causing any more damage to the car. No change at the top of Class 1 though, as Mark and Andrew Constantine edge out a good lead over 2 minutes in the class after stage 5. David Coatsworth and Daniel Emerson make a move up the results on these stages to take up second in the class, due in part to that drop down the order for Andrew Fawcett. Which of course also means a new face in third, as Andrew and Richard Chandler take up that place, although themselves almost 2 minutes behind second. All change in Class 2, a move up to the lead for Liam Walling and Phil Kenny after Stephen Irwin drops down the order. Barry and Michael Lindsay were here to secure their North East Car Club Championship, so wouldn't afford any mistakes today. A knocking on the transmission was causing a worry, but for now, it was a move to second in that Class 2. And Martin Peters and Jason Leaf remain at the top of the class battle, with third in the class now, just less than half a minute behind Lindsay. Things were going well in Class 3 for Martin Tinker and Heather Grisdale. Just one excursion into the tyres to report, but they lead the class now by over a minute. For Dane Walker and Mark Gaunt, it would still be second. The lead may have changed hands, but their second place was safe for now. But there will be change in third as the Skoda S2000 of Stuart Walker and Lewis McDougall makes an appearance at the top of the class now, but only after a few moments along the way. It's all change at the top of Class 4 as Paul Swift and Jessica Bell take the lead after Mike Harrington slips down the results. That lead now up to over a minute and a half over second placed Barry Renwick and Steve Dargan in their escort. And there wouldn't be any change in third for Ian and Stephen Woodhouse, still rounding out the top of the class at this stage. Plenty of change in Class 5 and the overall results as well now, as Kev Proctor and Dave Bellaby start to gain speed and move up to take the lead of the rally. David and Matthew White slip down from that number 1 spot, but not too far, down to second at this stage and still only 43 seconds behind our new leaders. And change in third, but still a 6R4 at the top of the results, as Pete Smith this time with Patrick Walsh alongside moves the right way up the results to round out the top of the class and the podium places. Sadly, due in part to the loss of Guy Smith when the gearbox failed on the other 6R4. So after stage 5, the results look like this. On to the final results then, and unfortunately, it would be last overall for Andy and Dave Forrest. The pair enjoying stage 5 so much that they did an extra lap, unfortunately dropping them into last place. Colin Butler and Joe Hutchinson enjoy a good, steady run, improving on their seeding of 80 with 59th overall. The car still in junior spec, but the pair are consistently fastest of the 1 litre cars this weekend. At the top of Class 1, it will be a third place finish for Andrew Fawcett and Chris Purvis. The pair slipped a little down the results over the day, but a podium class finish was a good result. For David Coatsworth and Daniel Emerson, it will be second. The pair were some way off the lead in the class, but their own advantage in second would be a good one. So that means it's a class win for Mark and Andrew Constantine. The pair have a good run all day to also end the event rounding out the top 10 overall. In Class 2, Tim Gray and Wayne Ward round out the top of the results in the Puma. Third in the class, 42 seconds behind those in front. And in that second place were Martin Peters and Jason Leaf. The Saxo pair enjoying a good weekend to take the runner-up place in this class. But taking victory this weekend were Barry and Michael Lindsay. The result nets the pair the North East Car Club Championship win for 2014. No change in Class 3 as Stuart Walker and Lewis McDougall continue to round out the class results to finish the event third in the class in that Skoda. No change for Dane Walker and Mark Gaunt as they hold on to second place to the finish. So that means for Martin Tinker and Heather Grisdale, it's a class win. The pair also finishing just outside our top 10 overall in 11th. A good result for the pair's first time out together. Class 4 wouldn't see much of a change, especially not at the top, with Ian and Stephen Woodhouse rounding out the podium places with third in class. Barry Renwick and Steve Dargan finish a little way off the class lead, but still with almost a minute's advantage in second place themselves. Which means that it's a class win and 7th overall for Paul Swift and Jessica Bell on their return to the stages. Hopefully that luck will continue for the pair going into the 2015 season, which of course is now upon us. And in the overall results, and at the top of Class 5, it will be a third place finish for Pete Smith and Patrick Walsh, really getting to grips with their 6R4 now, and the results were starting to come good. Early leaders David and Matthew White don't manage to get back any of their lost time, finishing the event in second overall. A great result though for the Subaru pair. But taking victory in the class and overall on the rally this weekend will be Kev Proctor and Dave Bellaby. The pair have a trouble-free run to take the win by almost 2 minutes. So with the event finishing in darkness, here's how the results looked at that atmospheric finish at Croft.
Paul Alsop, Chris Alsop is the 2-litre driver of the
Join us after the break for more of the best in UK rally action. We'll also catch up with a World Rally Championship legend. See if you can guess who it is. Welcome back to Special Stage Extra. I'm joined by a man that needs no introduction to you guys, Petter Solberg. Welcome back to Special Stage.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
And you got a new accolade under your belt after 2014 as well that you didn't have last time we spoke to you, World Rallycross Champion.
Oh, champion. What do you say?
Accolade, just trophy.
Too much technical word, but trophy is better, yeah.
Your English is usually better than mine, so I'll give you that one. So, what an exciting year for you, but our fans want to talk rally. I hear you going back out in the Mark II.
Yeah, Mark II, and we have it out in the workshop now to do some adjustments and different things. So I will drive next weekend with my son, and then I will do also, I got a new rear diff and I got a new parts for Swedish Rally, and a little bit lighter car, so I will have it ready for the Swedish Rally with my wife. So maybe some more later this year, but...
It's a real family thing then, but what about the WRC? Mr. Loeb has announced that he will return for the odd round. Can we see Petter Solberg back for a return at some point?
Maybe.
As a hobby?
No. When I'm coming, it's not like a hobby. It will be to fight to do the best for the team we are driving for, you know. But we will see. I would have enjoyed to do a couple of races properly, you know.
Now, here you are. You're Norwegian, but you are probably one of, if not the most popular drivers in the UK. You know, it must be great to be here at the Autosport show, talking to the UK fans. I've seen them following you around. Yeah,
but I must say, Autosport is a fantastic place to be. Now we have a rally car here and the trucks, and we have the winning World Championship car over at the motoring newsstand, and you know, I enjoy it, and I think this is not just a British motorsport week, you know, with Autosport. It's very international. From Norway, where we came, was full flight, and everybody going to the Autosport show, so it brings a lot of people, and it's a lot of suppliers here that you know, you can get some good deals with, so it's not bad.
Thanks, Petter. Some real hope for WRC fans then. We could see this man back in the WRC at some point. Yeah. Now back to more rally action.
This year, Special Stage will once again be back, bringing you all the coverage of the BTRDA Rally Series, and it all kicks off with the 40th Wydeen Rally. And this year, as always, it looks like it will be another fantastic battle for the season opener. But will we have sunshine, mud, ice or snow? The event has a habit of throwing different conditions at the crews year after year, but one thing you can always rely on is the action. So as we prepare ourselves for the 40th anniversary Wide-In Rally, let's take a look back to the last time those stages saw some of the white stuff and relive some of the action from the 2012 edition of the event, including of course that giant killing performance from Julian Wilkes in the 1400 Nova. So as the 2012 season gets underway for the BTRDA Gold Star crews, it will be an early lead for Hugh Hunter and Andy Marchbank. Limited time in the new car didn't seem to be a problem, but a few setup issues were starting to make themselves known during the second of the morning stages. It wouldn't be an easy rally, that much obvious, even at this early stage. Second place at the end of the first handful of stages, a good start for Charlie Payne and Craig Thorley. Spins and overshoots would be the order of the day for everyone. These two are no exception. This rally really would be less about speed and more about making the least mistakes and just keeping it on the road. But it wouldn't be a mistake that stopped Steve Perez and Paul Spooner from making any advance on that lead. The Kick Energy crew suffering an early puncture. Trying to find anything remotely resembling grip on these icy stages meant cutting the corners and hooking a wheel into the ditches, making punctures a big risk. Third place would have to be good enough for now for the returning 2010 champion.
We'll keep you long.
It wouldn't be far into the first stage that the conditions got the better of Sean Gardner and Ben Innes, spinning only a few corners into the stage, but the pair soon back on the pace and settling into fourth, leading the B13 class too. A last-minute decision to buy a set of snow tyres literally 40 minutes before the start was paying off for Paul Davey and Roger Allen. So much so that on stage 3 they were catching and passing cars. This all adds up to 5th place going into the afternoon stages for the pair, as well as a head start on the N4 class leaderboard. In the Silver Star category, it would be our B12 leaders Dave Brick and Chris Butcher holding a somewhat comfortable 2-minute lead going into service. But it wouldn't be quite that simple for second place Neil Matthews and Ian Harden. They may be leading the B10 class, but this wasn't a lead without its problems. From the intercom failing on the start of the first stage to the windows in the car misting up. Maybe the fresh air through that open window vent would give the crew a little something extra with which to fight for that lead. Third place belonged to the highest running historic crew of Theo Bengry and Les Forsbrook. A survival mission if nothing else, but going well and keeping the Ascona where it needed to be. Bengry's lead of the historics, however, was a new development, with the lead in that class being held by Nick Elliott and Dave Price over the morning stages. Sadly for Elliott though, along with a few others, it would be a lead that would be short-lived. The regulations stipulate a certain profile of tyre on historic cars, and due to limited ice tyre options, the crew opted to run a lower profile, sadly resulting in exclusion from the event. A disappointing verdict on an issue which wouldn't represent a performance advantage. Stage 4 would see a change at the top, with Charlie Payne and Craig Thorley edging out a small margin of just 12 seconds going into the final stage of the event. A bit of bad luck for Hugh Hunter and Andy Marchbank. The Focus pair the latest victims of the grip hunting as they pick up a puncture just a mile into stage 4 and drop from the lead, down into second place. But a puncture was just the start of the bad luck for Steve Perez and Paul Spooner. The damage resulting from that flat tyre causing the wheel to fall apart and drag the car into a ditch on the inside of the corner. With no way out and the crew's hopes of a good start to the campaign sinking, literally, it was the end of the road. A disappointing finish to a good run, running in third place up to this point. Problems at the top of the rally leaderboard mean those behind move up the order, and taking over that third place from Perez was Sean Gardner and Ben Innes. Overcoming the conditions and a puncture earlier in the day to increase their advantage by another few seconds and remain in the lead of the B13 class. Second in that class and chasing down Gardner were Nigel Griffiths and John Scott, the pair enjoying the stages and settling into 4th place now. In 5th and leading the N4 class now were Paul Davey and Roger Allen, but this wasn't without some scares along the way. A big moment in stage 6 saw the car leave the road and take a trip through the undergrowth, luckily not causing any damage other than a dent in their advantage going into the final stage. And it's a podium place for the BMW of Tony Carinanti and Mike Scrimgow, following a steady run to preserve the tyres, a strategy that paid off and nets them 3rd place and 2nd in class. A great result for Neil Matthews and Ian Harden sees them hold the 2nd place they established early in the event, the pair emerging as winners of the B10 class too. But it's a runaway win in the Silver Star category for Dave Brick and Chris Butcher. A good tyre choice was key on this event, and the pair certainly got it right. Over 3 minutes the lead at the end of 7 difficult stages. And 5th overall was the best result that could have been expected for Roger Chilman and Brian Thomas after a slow start to the event, just 17 seconds ahead of Davey in 6th. Nigel Griffiths and John Scott make the best of the icy stage conditions to finish the event in 4th place, 2nd in Class B13. And it's simply a giant killing performance from Julian Wilkes and Will Rutherford-Child, which not only sees them take the 1400 win, but also 3rd overall, showing what can be done when you drive to the conditions. Unfortunately for Hugh Hunter and Andy Marchbank, it would be last-minute frustrations which would conclude the story of their rally. 3 punctures in the final stages and only 2 spares mean that the pair are unable to complete the road section back to Chepstow. A disappointing end to a good run. This of course means it's smiles all round and a great result for Sean Gardner and Ben Innes. They step up to take 2nd place and the win in B13. But it wasn't a podium finish without its drama. Sliding wide on the final stage and hitting a tree, this mishap caught on camera here by a special stage viewer. Victory at round 1 then for Charlie Payne and Craig Thorley. The Focus WRC pair finished with over 3 minutes in hand, starting their championship campaign off in style and showing their consistency in difficult conditions.
That's all we've got time for this opening episode of Special Stage Extra. Stay with us in the rest of 2015 for all the best that UK rally and off-road racing has to offer. And join us in a few weeks' time as well when the BTRDA Rally Championship kicks off, when our reigning champion will be back, but not in his Focus World Rally car, in this, the popular and great sounding Lancia Stratos. See you then.